Do you believe that there is a bad kind in the world? The little girl took the opportunity to kiss the old kindergarten teacher she had a crush on, but was seriously pushed away by the old teacher. The old teacher said that kisses can only be given to one's own parents. The girl felt rejected and humiliated, and planted the seeds of hatred in her heart. He turned around and complained to the principal that he did not like the male teacher. The principal asked him curiously why.
Everything is inside. Inside.
It was these words that completely ruined the life of the male teacher. The old teacher's name is Lucas, and he is a gentle and kind gentleman. When he sees someone drowning, he will not hesitate to go down to save someone. When he sees a girl lost, he will thoughtfully send her home. She is a good old man in the town, and the most beloved teacher of the children. Because of the girl's words, the principal called Lucas to the office on the second day, and conveyed the girl's complaint to the side. Lucas was stunned when he heard this, and the principal did not continue to ask questions, but gave him a long vacation, and decided to investigate the matter clearly, and then let him reply. The principal invited a psychologist from the town to give the girl a psychological test. When the girl saw that the specialist was coming, she couldn't help but feel guilty and deny the accusations she had made before her. Psychologists who think they are right regard this as an emergency response after the girl is injured. He also kept asking provocative questions to the girls. The girl was in a hurry to go out to play, nodding and weighing all the questions. The principal spat out directly while listening, and he was still suspicious, but now he completely believed the girl's words. Little did they know, these adult paintings were just peeked at by the girl on her brother's computer. That afternoon, the principal held a parent-teacher meeting to make Luca's crimes public. All the parents blew up the country, and the more they thought about it, the more they realized that their children were also being harmed. Luca's beastly behavior also spread in the town in an instant, and he himself didn't know anything about it, until his son suddenly called and said that he could not see him again. Because his ex-wife heard about Lucas's crimes, he forbade him from meeting his father in person. Angry, Lucas came to the school to confront the principal face to face, but the principal was afraid that he would avoid him, as if he were avoiding a disease. Lucas tried his best to defend himself, but the principal always believed that the child would not lie. During the quarrel, the principal did not hesitate to say that he had missed the girl's life. Lucas was completely shocked. He didn't think of it. The one who framed himself was actually the daughter of a good brother. When Zheng Jing's colleague saw Lucas's arrival, he unceremoniously rushed forward and asked him to get out of the school. Desperate, Lucas can only find the girl's father, Alan, who is the best brother he has ever experienced, and he thinks he will solve the problem for himself. You can gain the trust and understanding of your brothers. But looking at the silence and hesitation of his good friend, Lucas realized that he thought everything too simply. When the girl's mother saw her, she immediately began to curse. At this moment, the girl came over, and Lucas saw the savior as if he were a Buddha, and stepped forward to relieve the girl. But before she could get close, she was driven into the room by Alan. The girl gradually realized the seriousness of the situation, and she confessed to her mother. It was nonsense to say that it was nonsense before it was self-inflicted, but when everything got to this point, there was no way out. Mom deceived herself and comforted her, which was a memory of the brain deliberately avoiding pain after being injured. Under the guidance of the surrounding environment, more and more parents claimed that their children had also been violated, and they even contacted Lucas's girlfriend privately. I hope she can collect evidence and advocate for justice. The girlfriend didn't believe that Lucas would do such a thing at first. Until this day, the little girl sent a messenger to Lucas again, hoping to play with her. Lucas was taken aback, but he didn't blame her. She squatted down and asked her gently,
I don't know. I don't remember them anymore. So are the others. I get scared.
At this moment, the girlfriend just came out and saw the suspicion that the girl was frightened and crying, and the doubts that had accumulated in her heart for many days could not be hidden. I didn't expect that even my beloved girlfriend was also suspicious of me, which made the man who had always been forbearant collapse completely. Lucas was a man who was decadent in bed for several days, like a bull abandoned by the world. Until the arrival of the sun, he hugged the child tightly, like a drowning person grabbing the last piece of foam. The son brought his uncle over, and the two of them cared about Lucas while holding grievances for him. These are the two people who still believe in him, but as the rumors are getting stronger and stronger, they want to prove their innocence. On the second day, the son went to the supermarket to help Lucas buy goods, but was warned by the supermarket manager not to come back next time. The son was not convinced, and asked him the reason, and the manager replied, "Now not only Lucas, but also his family has been repeatedly excluded. The child is very ugly, but he doesn't know how to refute it. When I got home, I happened to see my father being taken away by the police." Lucas asked the son to go back to his mother, but the son had other plans in his own heart. He came to Alan's house, and Alan watched him grow up from childhood to adulthood. He interceded with Alan, hoping that he would trust his father and help him.
Good. 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 Good.
Not only did he not seek justice, but he was also beaten and kicked out. He can only come to his uncle's house, and the trial will be held at 8 o'clock tomorrow. The uncle's family was still thinking of a way to do it, and based on the latest entertainment, all the children invariably pointed out that the location of Lucas' crime was in the basement of his house. He even described the flower circumference of the sofa in detail, pen and paper color. Hearing this, the son breathed a sigh of relief.
Okay. He was acquitted and released.
He thought that he had finally been wronged and that his life would return to noon, but he did not expect that the nightmare had just begun. In the evening, Lucas was cooking when he suddenly heard a loud noise. A stone broke through the window and pointed directly at Lucas' head, almost knocking it unconscious. He picked up a stick and went out to check the situation, but he didn't see anyone, only a black plastic bag. When I opened it, I found that it was actually the corpse of a dog who had been with me for 10 years. The son came out and stroked the dog's cold body, and he didn't know what they had done wrong.
Good.
Lucas took the risk of a big shadow and buried the dog's body with his own hands. He knew that the law had given him innocence, but the hearts of the people had not given him trust. On the second day, he went to the supermarket to buy meat, and when Guillaume saw him, he opened his mouth and said that even if he threw the east and west here, he would not sell it to him even if he gave it to the dog. Lucas humbly prayed to him, and Guillaume became even more impatient. Rushing out of the counter and facing it is a punch. Supermarket manager Wen Zun arrived, and when he saw that it was Lucas who was beaten, he immediately lost his guilt and kicked him out of the supermarket, watching the crowd humiliate him. Lucas couldn't bear it anymore. He walked into the supermarket again with his head full of blood. He wanted to regain his dignity, and he bought those things. Wai Yuan came to stop him again, and Lucas put his nose on the bridge, and Wai Yuan fell to the ground, and the manager finally sold him Dongxi. After checking out, he limped out of the supermarket. His face was covered in blood, but his body still stopped. This scene happened to be seen by Alan, and he had mixed feelings in his heart, and because of a girl's words, he actually pushed the best brother and brother into the abyss. He felt ashamed in his heart, but he did not dare to step forward. On Christmas Eve, Lucas heard the bell of the church, where the inhabitants of the town would pray tonight. She was neatly dressed and walked into the church, and people did not dare to believe it. How did she still have the face to meet people? Facing everyone's eyes, Lucas ignored it and kept looking back at Alan. Her eyes gradually filled with tears. The children in the kindergarten began to perform on stage, and the girl was among them. In the angel-like singing, Lucas could no longer control his emotions. In the evening, Alan stayed by the girl's side, recalling the bits and pieces of the two families in the past, and she couldn't help but shed tears. At this moment, the girl finally confessed to her father that she had lied at that time. Alan didn't seem to feel surprised. He may have guessed that his good friend was innocent, but he didn't want his daughter to suffer the consequences of lying. Late that night, he brought Lucas's favorite wine to his house, and the two big men did not speak, and looked at a circle of people outside singing and dancing around the nativity tree. It is very lively. The two of them were in the dark, and although they didn't say anything or apologize, Lucas still chose to forgive. A year later, Lucas held a coming-of-age ceremony for his son, and everyone in the town came. It seems that the family has forgotten Zheng Jing's accusations against her. The girl also came to Lucas's house, and she was afraid of stepping on the grid on the ground as before. Lucas hesitated again and again, but walked over and gently picked up the girl who had almost ruined her. The gathering is tied. The group went hunting in the forest. Lucas fell at the back, staring at a deer in a daze. At this moment, someone suddenly fired a shot at him. But I couldn't see his appearance clearly, because that man stood on the high point of moral control and stood in the sunlight.